brother, here we go again. So, I keep saying this again that especially in the black community, that you have to look a certain type of way to be considered mixed. If you too dark skinned and you look like a monoracial black person to them, they're gonna consider you as black. Or if you happen to be very light skinned or white passing, they're gonna discriminate you as they're gonna not accept you in the black community. Or if you happen to be in between, like you look like a mixed girl and whatnot, they want you to represent them, or they will put you down for being a light skin. And here we see that it's one of those options where if you're too light skinned and you happen to be mixed, that they won't see you as black. In fact, they erased the whole rule of the one drop rule, which does exist in the black community. And it kind of shows in the comment section of what I'm going to describe. So I'm going to pull up some photos I have. And as you see in this comment, it says, I roll my eyes so hard. If you had to explain that you're black, you aren't black. And that's not a bad thing. The conversation shouldn't indulge a black culture. I'll be on her side 100%. That is total false. Because we all know that if you don't, like for example, if you're mixed and you don't say anything about your black side and whatnot, you'll be considered as whitewash. You'll be considered like, oh, you've been raised by a white mom. By the way, I will talk about that. Make a video about the white mom versus black mom thing, because I understand people have their experiences, but I think it got to the point where they low-key discriminate. Anyways, let's get back to the topic. But that is total false. I don't think many people, especially in the African American community, due to ignorance, understand that you could come in different shades, different phenotypes. That's why because of hierarchy in the community, and also added with black supremacy, that's why we have to have this conversation. Because, for example, Winter Blanco is mixed, but she is white passing. However, due to people lack of ignorance of her, like, oh my gosh, but you're white, but you're white. Like, no, that is not how genetics work. You get what I'm saying here? Like, they did the exact same thing if you was like they do that so many times. It's actually pretty annoying. And I would say this for the mixed girlies that have this problem: do not explain yourself. Okay? If someone get upset and they're like, oh well, you had to say it, then that means you ain't. But don't even explain yourself to them. Okay? You just gotta leave stupid people at the bottom so you can rise to the top. I know that sounds a little crazy, but wow. But no, seriously though, because you're gonna get exhausted by trying to educate people. Just leave them alone, okay? Because I remember how a lot of mixed girlies, at least when I saw Exotical Barbies, had the experience where they's like, oh well, you look mixed, so you're not black or whatnot, or you white, so you don't look black or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But they will get upset if you do the complete opposite of not even acknowledging your black side and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, they will get very mad, upset. I just kind of see that sometimes with Sophia Richie, because I don't even know I really don't know, but I remember, sorry, trying to work on my pronunciation, of how some people got upset because they were like, oh, how come she never mentioned her black side? How come she never, you know what I'm saying? So it happens a lot. Another comment said, everyone not knowing race is based on looks and appearance is frying me. Honey, then yeah, we could see that, because your brain must be fried from you making that comment. And the reason I say that is because your phenotype doesn't depict your race. Can it kind of like what I said, is someone's looking a bit, they'd be like, oh, she probably this race, or she probably from there and whatnot. Yeah, that can be true, but it doesn't depict your race. Because that's saying done. A lot of black people in the black community or black people they say other people that are black would not be considered black then. You know what I'm saying? Instead, and with that being said, if that was true, then how come, for example, in the movie Sinners, remember Mary, how she's white passing and whatnot, and phenotypically she looked like a white passing woman. She would not she wouldn't be scared to be like, oh yeah, I mix and whatnot, and be scared of everyone, like, you know, because why? Because of that one drop rule where they'd be like, oh my, you're black, you know, and you know they're gonna hurt her and whatnot, because you know this Jim Crow era and whatnot. So I hate when they gaslight people, because it does matter. It's just really disgusting. And you could be mixed and look like any type of way. You know, you can look any type of way. And honestly, I feel like it's still funny though, seeing how many people don't get it. And it's actually disgusting seeing that too as well, because they would either downplay your blackness or try to throw you in and out, or they just do any types of stuff. And I even see it as far as not only black people, like mixed race girlies or light skin girlies. I also see it for like Blasians or Wasians as well. I definitely see that a lot of how they get thrown in and out as well. So yeah, that's something I really realized. Anyways, let's continue. So I have another picture. This comment right here, it says that people don't get that race is a social construct, isn't scientific. Is a social construct, I'm sorry. It isn't scientific. In this day age, race is determined by phenotypes. Even if your mother is black, but you don't look black, you be considered white. In the past, race was determined through your familial or historical. So back, even if your grandpa was half black, you be considered black. What? Okay, let me keep reading. That's how race works now, though. Even if you're mixed, it doesn't mean you're a mix of both races. I think I explained it weirdly, but still. Nikki, no, you did not. I think you honestly fried the other comments thinking. But I feel as though we need to go back to school. And I'm not trying to make this page like politically or whatnot. I'm just saying as a joke. There should have been children left behind. The reason I'm saying that is because it's genetic. Like when you're like half black, half white, or whatnot, like when you do your like ancestry, you know, 23andMe, you probably be like, oh, you're 56% black, or like 40% European, or like, you know, Hispanic or Spanish, or you know what I'm saying, like any of these things. Anyways, I'm sorry, I kind of screwed up with the terminology, but you guys know what I'm saying. And just because you look like something doesn't mean you are something. Now, can you go by that? You can. I don't care. I mean, that's your business. But I feel as though many people hate that when you have so much fluidity, if that makes sense. Like, for example, let's say you're a white girl, right? Like a white girl that came from the Mayflower, but you look like you're Russian or you're Swedish and whatnot. And people be like, oh, well, no, you at the end of the day, you look like a white girl, whatnot. It's not a bad thing. Like, honestly, you'd be like, oh, okay, I look like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like, you may be, what's that call it? A Samoan girl, but you live right Blasian or whatnot. I'm just making up examples because I have seen in real life where, and then if that doesn't mean you are, but you could be like, oh, okay, I'm just, you know, like it's not a bad thing. But one thing I hate that's when people hate that you have that much fluid with you, know, like fluid identity with you, you know, because you don't look like the stereotypical race that you are, that they going to just put you in a box, if that makes sense. Like they because they can't control, like, oh, you're just black, because they can't say that, because you're either like white passing or you're like really light skin or whatnot, or you look like a whole different type of mixed group better than black and white, whatever. They gonna outcast you. like they did with Winter Blanco. You know what I'm saying? I did make a video about Winter Blanco, by the way. Please go to my page and see that. But yeah, they would do that in the Black community. They would do that to you, and so in other communities. And with that being said, that I want to let you know, Exotical Barbies, this is false. What this person said is false. You can look like something totally different and still be who you are. Don't let anyone downgrade your multi-ethnicity, your race, your multi-race. It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Do not let anyone downgrade it because they can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all it is mostly. You know, so I have another, actually, you know, let me continue on because I'm a little kind of, just want to go a little more with this. Also too, with that being said, the one drop rule wouldn't exist if it wasn't scientific, because the one drop rule kind of depended on scientific, like if you're like, for example, if you're like 70% black and you look like an unambiguous black person, you know what I'm saying, you look monoracially black, you're like 70, no, like, yeah, like, let me go up, 80% black and you're like 25% white. Wait, actually, you know what, let me switch those, I'm sorry, let me actually switch. I meant to say 80% white and 20% black. You're going to be considered black at the Jim Crow time. Okay? Why? Because of that one drop rule. Because if your parents, that's what monoracially means, by the way, because I really wish many people understand what monoracial is that if both your parents are like, if both your grandparents on both sides are black, right? And then your mom and dad is both black, and then you are, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, besides the point. Those things would not happen at that time. Okay, it would not happen at that time if it was based on quote unquote looks. Now, can it be like white passing or black passing? Yeah, that is a thing. That is definitely a thing. But I just hate when and people confuse you with that race. Absolutely. But I just hate when people just more so depend, like, you know what I'm saying, like they are very ignorant, and because they're ignorant and they choose to throw people in and out their race and whatnot, that is where they're no different than people who try to erase history, if that makes sense. Like downgrade your history, if that makes sense. Anyways, let me know, have you ever happened to this to you where you just thrown out of blackness completely because you didn't look quote unquote black or quote unquote mixed? Or have you seen it happen, or you're light skinned that happen, you know? Like, let me know, you know what I'm saying? Let me know. Comment down below, like and subscribe for some more. Bye.